territory and achieve its strategic objectives.
Now, I'd be a lot more edified by all of this if I thought that Joe Biden were capable of carrying forward a plan. Here was Joe Biden trying to explain what exactly he was doing here, and suddenly he starts jabbering about Ukrainian aggression, and none of this is particularly edifying.
Together with our allies and partners, we've sent more than 3,000 armored vehicles, more than 8,000 artillery systems, more than 2 million rounds of artillery ammunition, and more than 50 advanced multi-launch rocket systems. And I ship an air defense system, all to help counter Ukraine's brutal aggression that's happening because of Russia.
By the way, that wasn't his only gaffe of that particular press conference. He also forgot exactly what the Secretary of Defense does, so that was awkward.
And the enduring capability to deter and defend against Russian aggression over the long term. The Secretary of State, the Secretary of the military behind me they've been deeply involved in this whole effort.
The awfulness. According to the New York Times, the Pentagon has long been reluctant to send the Abrams, in part because it's very complex, challenging to operate and maintain. As it is, officials have said it could take a year or even longer for these tools to actually reach the battlefield in Ukraine. Apparently, Lloyd Austin, the Secretary of Defense, that's the position he was looking for right there, came around to the move in order to spur Germany to send those Leopard 2 tanks. Chancellor Olaf Scholz announced on Wednesday also that they'd be sending
worried because of this decision and the dimensions that this type of arm brings about. Please, the government, we will continue working at an international level. We have made this support possible without the risks increasing into the wrong direction.
Please trust us. Trust the government is always the prelude to something going wildly wrong. Russia, its part, of course, is fighting mad about. When I say fighting mad, I mean that they are really going to up the ante in the near future because they effectively have to. All of the interests in Russia are moving toward a broader war, not toward some sort of deal, not in the face of further American infusion of resources into Ukraine. According to the Daily Mail, Russia today warned that Germany's decision to send dozens of modern tanks to Ukraine is extremely dangerous and will take the conflict to a new level. We don't actually know what that means at this point. Russia branded the move a blatant provocation and warned that the new NATO supplies would burn like all the rest. While one raging Putin propagandist called for the German parliament to be destroyed in a nuclear strike, Russia's ambassador said, quote, this extremely dangerous decision takes the conflict to a new level of confrontation and contradicts statements by German politicians about the unwillingness of the German Federation to get involved in it. So far, this has been largely empty talk from Russia. They're obviously talking about upping the ante by drafting millions more people and just throwing them cannon fodder style into Ukraine. And they're talking, of course, about mass mobilization. They're talking about a broad offensive in the spring and all the rest. However, Russia keeps talking, I think, in sort of empty ways. They're going to attack a NATO country or maybe fire a battlefield. They haven't demonstrated the willingness or capacity to do any of that. The problem is, when you are talking about hot war, you just don't know what to do. It's impossible to predict what the next step will be. The good news is that means sometimes Russia perceives that it's going to run rush out over Ukraine and then it loses. It also means that the longer this goes on, the further the chance that something could go wildly wrong. Russia had warned the supply of war tanks would leave a lasting mark and lead to nothing good. Fears in Moscow that the high-tech equipment could land a devastating blow on the invading forces. Russia has been building for weeks on Scholz's government to send the tanks and allow NATO allies to do the same. Scholz quickly established two battalions of air tanks for Ukraine, according to the statement. Training Ukrainian troops how to use the armor will begin in Germany almost immediately. So, again, it's a lot of empty rhetoric from the Russians. Up until the point it is not. And so, I only hope at this point that the West is going to then ask him if he wants an off-ramp, what that off-ramp is going to look like. If they're not, it really is just the West continuing to ratchet up with Russia without actively engaging in back-channel negotiations with Putin. I don't know what the end of this is. It's like I don't think anyone knows what the end of this is. By the way, there's a completely possible situation in which the Russian regime comes toppling down, and what follows in Russia is actually a disaster here. Because does anyone know who's going to take over the country that has 2,500 nuclear weapons? Does anyone actually know who's going to take over the Russian military if Putin were to fall? Is it going to be somebody who's more crazy? Is it going to be an internal battle inside a fragmenting state that has nuclear weapons pretty much all over its soil? If there's no plan, then it is a mistake to up the ante. media about why Swalwell and Schiff should not go on the Intel Committee. And he was like, well, maybe it's because they completely lost the trust of the American people. Maybe it's because of that.
What did Adam Schiff do as the chairman of the Intel Committee? What Adam Schiff did, use his power as a chairman and lie to the American public. Even the Inspector General said it. And if you want to talk about Swalwell, let's talk about Swalwell. You have not had the briefing that I had the briefing that we had the briefing from the FBI. The FBI never came before this Congress to tell the leadership of this Congress that Eric Swalwell had a problem with the Chinese spy until he served on Intel. So it wasn't just us who were concerned about. The FBI was concerned about putting a member of Congress on the Intel Committee that has the right to see things that others don't because of his knowledge and relationship with the Chinese spy.
Okay, he happens to be absolutely correct about that. Steve Scalise has been doing exactly the same thing here. Steve Scalise was the second in command over on the Republican side of the aisle in the House, making the same case against Eric Swalwell.
With all of those members you talked about, they're very specific things that they've done in their time here in Congress. I don't even think Swalwell could get a security clearance in the private sector. So why should you be on the Intelligence Committee? These committees are very unique in that they deal with our national secrets. They deal with very classified information.
Of course, all of that. Meanwhile, Eric Swalwell is very angry about all this. No shock there. He says that he has no regret not giving me and Ilhan Omar committee assignments. No, I don't think he'll regret that very much. I feel like he has other things to regret, but probably not that.
Even though we have said publicly, the interveners are bringing death threats and continues to do, which makes us believe that there's an intent behind it. But we will not be quiet. We're not going away. I think he'll regret giving all three of us more time on our hands. But at the end of the day, our mission now is to restore the credibility and integrity of this institution, of which the Speaker has so bravely
Wait. So Adam Schiff, Eric Swalwell, and Ilhan Omar are going to restore the credibility of Congress. Those three are going to do it. Yeah, I'm going to go no on that one. Also, this argument the left loves using, which is McCarthy saying stuff, and that stuff is mean. And that mean stuff he's saying might put us under threat, so he's not allowed to say it. So by attacking McCarthy, is he doing the same thing? Is he putting McCarthy under threat? Is that how this dumb logic works? So the Republicans are doing the right thing here. There's only one are sort of dropping out of this. Small majority in the House, apparently some of the Republicans are now willing to kick Ilhan Omar off the committee. According to Politico, House Republicans are already facing defections over a leadership push to oust Omar from her committees. Democrats are trying to make the vote even more painful. The Minnesota Democrat and her caucus allies have begun to mount a robust defense of the progressive squad member. While they focused on Omar's past comments about Israel, Republicans loudly protested last Congress when Democrats booted a pair of conservatives from the committee. Democrats are working to have no defense of the votes for removal of Omar, and they are attempting to swing at least a few Republicans in favor of Omar. Apparently, a second public defector has now emerged on Tuesday. Representative Victoria Sparks of Indiana joined Representative Nancy Mace of South Carolina in declaring that she would not vote to yank Omar off the panel. Remember, this House Republican majority is like 4 or 5 votes, and one of those votes just became not part of the congressional vote because of an injury. So that means that they're down to like 30. Democrats are lobbying other Republican members of the Foreign Affairs panel to oppose Omar's removal as well. If McCarthy can't hold that together, again, I feel bad for McCarthy in the sense that he has the world's worst job to take government to hold together a fractious committee. But if Republicans can't even get together to kick Ilhan Omar off the committee in the aftermath of a bunch of Republicans being kicked off committees by Nancy Pelosi, I don't know what the Republican majority is really all that good for. More on this in just a moment, but first, if you own a business, it's been a bumpy ride for the last couple of years, from the pandemic to inflation to incipient recession. I'm sure that you could use a break. Innovation Refunds can help you out. If your business has 5 or more employees and managed to survive COVID, you could be eligible to receive a payroll tax rebate of up to $26,000 per employee. There's no payback. It is a refund on your taxes. The challenge is, how do you get your hands on it? How do you cut through the red tape, get your business the refund money? Well, you head on over to getrefunds.com. Their team of tax attorneys are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program. They've already returned $1 billion to businesses, and they can help you too. They do all the work, no charge up front. Simply share a percentage of the cash they get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those who took PPP, nonprofits, even those that had increases in sales. To find out if your business qualifies, just head on over to getrefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, answer a few quick questions. refund. It's only available for a limited amount of time, so you need to get started right now. Don't miss out. Head on over to getrefunds.com. That's getrefunds.com, GETREFUNDS.com, getrefunds.com. Start saving money today. Already coming up, Joe Biden. He is somebody who really cares about your health, which is he's appointing a fat activist to create dietary guidelines for Americans. This is the Ben Shapiro Show.
Former Navy SEAL Sean Ryan shares real stories from real people from all walks of life on The Sean Ryan Show.
3 years ago today, we kicked off the first episode of The Sean Ryan Show, and since then, we have hit number 55 out of over 8 million podcasts. I think we spread a very positive message here on this platform, and we're going to continue to do that. Me and the team at Vigilance Elite just want to wish you the best.
The Sean Ryan Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. Hey, small business owner, when's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But some don't check their rate often. Did you know rates can vary? In fact, taking 3 minutes to check your rate with Pi Insurance could save you up to 30%. Just go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for you with no hassle or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could save you money. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
For 170 years,
Since 1852.
women who have received that small blue box from Shreve have looked at it,
Known for sure.
that they are more precious than diamonds
More valuable than gold.
and very
From Shreve means that someone is still very much in love.
that someone will be coming soon.
With a box in Shreve blue just for you.
Shreve & Company, Post off Union Square.
In Palo Alto, Shreve is perfectly situated in the Stanford Shopping Center.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Check. Smart home. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 800-730-8405 to learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. And the best part? Call 800-730-8405 today. To call 800-730-8405 today. That's 800-730-8405. And manage your diabetes as easy as...
The Ben Shapiro Show. So, the wisest experts among us, they've been brought in by the Biden administration to help guide your life. So, for example, they're bringing in a fat activist to help tell you about what's healthy. So, normally when you think about the Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee, maybe we shouldn't just, feed people things that will make them fat. How about that? How about that the dietary advice that we give people isn't run by the Department of Agriculture and a bunch of farmers who are trying to sell you corn syrup, which is literally what happened in the United States in the 1970s. Remember that food pyramid? You remember this? And the food pyramid at the bottom said grains? And then everybody followed the food pyramid and they got super duper fat. It turns out grains make you super fat. The truth is, you're eating a lot more. Very good for you. You should really skim on the carbs. In any case, what exactly is the 2020 Guidelines Advisory Committee going to do? Well, we do have one indicator. Apparently, Joe Biden has now appointed a Dr. Fatima Cody Stanford. She claims that obesity is mostly genetic. She's one of the 20 doctors appointed to the committee, according to the Daily Caller, which will examine the relationship between diet and health through a health equity lens. Oh, goody, goody gumdrops. A health equity lens factoring in socioeconomic status, race, ethnicity, and culture. I didn't realize that being a fatso is a matter of status, race, ethnicity, and culture. How about caloric deficit, gang? You burn. They apparently are going to provide recommendations to the USDA and the Department of Health and Human Services. This particular doctor has claimed that doctors do not understand obesity, and that many patients can't simply lose weight through improved diet and exercise. So on January 1st, she appeared on CBS's 60 Minutes, and she then explained that it's actually genetic. The reason that you're fat is genetic, so it's not any fault of yours. You shouldn't bother dieting. There's nothing you can do. You are doomed to be a large fatso for the rest of your life.
A brain disease. It is? It's a brain disease.
Well, like syphilis?
And the brain tells us how much to eat and how much to store.
Dr. Fatima Cody Stanford, an obesity doctor at Mass General Hospital, an associate professor at Harvard Medical School, says common beliefs about obesity are wrong.
I've always heard that it's the fast food, that it's the Diet Cokes, that kind of thing, that is the instigator. Is that true? So I think we have to look at the different causes of obesity, the big pie. And that's one factor. Notice how I'm using this part of the pie, right? But the number one cause of obesity is genetic. 90% of physicians in the United States have significant bias towards individuals that are heavier.
That's so sad. Well, I mean, by significant bias, you mean they tell people that they need to lose weight, and then people get super offended? So, my wife is a family med doc. This happened to her before. Somebody will come in, and it turns out obesity makes everything you have worse. Every single health condition you have, it makes it worse. COVID, it makes it worse. Heart disease, it makes it worse. Various forms of cancer, they think now, are linked to obesity. And so if you tell somebody who is young and obese, you lose weight. And the way that you lose weight is you eat healthier, you get more exercise, stop cramming food in your face. If you say that, people get super offended. They're like, I'm just big bone. You're not big bone. Okay, again, it is not, we live in a society where it is now considered wise and normal to tell people that things they can fix are not in their control. And if you tell them they are in their control and they should fix them and it will be better for them if they fix them, people get super angry at you. Now we have the government appointing experts who say exactly that. She said, quote, for many of us, we can go on a diet. Loser, right? You go and you restrict people. You make them work out 10 hours a day, you feed them 500 calories. For most people, they will acutely lose weight. But 96% of those participating in The Biggest Loser regained their weight because their brain worked well. It was supposed to bring them back to store what they needed or what the brain thinks it needs. Well, which means that you have to break it. I mean, as everyone who has ever dieted understands, you have to come up with a sustainable plan for dieting. I'm not a diet and lifestyle advice show here, but I'm just telling you. You know, these sort of crash diets where you lose 100 pounds and you do it really, really fast, you are going to bounce back in the opposite direction very often because you have not come up with a sustainable diet that will last you the rest of your life. That is what you actually need. You need to figure out what you can do on a daily basis that is going to lower your caloric intake, and then you need to maintain that for relations to HHS and USDA that inform federal dietary programs and nutrition programs as well as dietary education. Now, I'd like to point out here something, which is that we didn't used to be that fat a country. If this were a genetic condition, one of the things that you should think about is the fact that we didn't used to be even remotely as fat as we are right now. In fact, if you go back in American history, you go back to like 1980, it turns out that Americans were significantly skinnier than they are right now. According to a study from the National Library of Medicine, and this is actually from the Surgeon General's Vision for a Healthy and Fit Nation, this is a governmental document, quote, the prevalence of obesity changed relatively little during the 1960s and 70s, but it increased